Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2016 Pacific Northwest Mixed Doubles Invitational from the Granite Curling Club. As you can see from our webcast, we're getting started a few minutes early today. Teams are already ready to go, and first rock is being thrown. This webcast is brought to you by the Curling Champions Tour, 12th End Sports Network, Washington State Curling Association, and the Granite Curling Club. My name is Chris Rimple. I'll be one of your hosts today. We're scrambling to find a few other announcers to work with me, since I'm also operating all of the equipment that brings you the webcast. But we'll do the best that we can, and if there's momentary pauses and silence, that's okay. You've got a bit of on-ice audio in the background, and I'll get back with you as often as I can. As you can see, we are showing the championship final here, and it is Team Peterson versus Team Martin. Team Martin had a strong win in the semifinal earlier, a bit of a blowout. Team Peterson and Polo had a very close finish in their game, but ultimately did win by a point. And it looks like I'm being joined by my first guest announcer, Tom Violette, now seated next to me. Say hello, Tom.
Hey Chris, hello everybody. I came by to watch the game, and I guess now I'm going to announce the game.
You've been recruited, yes.
I've been bribed.
There you go. It's a rare sunny day here in Seattle, so most of the competitors in this event have chosen to take the afternoon and do some sightseeing here in Seattle and enjoy the good weather. Otherwise, we'd try to get some of them on the webcast with us. And we may have a guest or two appear as the game progresses. So first couple of stones have been thrown, and we see here a few in the house.
Yeah, I did hear from a lot of our, especially U.S. high-performance athletes last night, that they want to take advantage of the beauty of the Northwest and get out, maybe take a hike or something. And yeah, it is a really nice day. So who's got a hammer here, Chris?
Well, that's an excellent question. It appears to be Martin, I believe, has the hammer.
Yeah, back button rock. Okay. Back four. So nice shot there. They lost their yellow one back four, but sitting in good position. Not quite frozen, but just sitting in front of the red shot rock, which is a really good strategic spot. The yellow rock side four may come into play. And it looks like Tab's going to hit and roll off that rock on the side four. They have position on the left side of the sheet, and if they can get a little hit and roll here. Hit and stick. Good shot. I think they took a quick look at the double, but it's really flat. So I think they'll take advantage of their positioning on the intern side of the sheet, play a little tap. I don't think they can lay two, but they can certainly get shot rock. I would think they'd want to get as close to nose as possible to make any kind of double difficult. Hit it a little high, rolled off, but did end up shot and actually pushed it over behind the guard, so that worked out really well. So yellow sitting shot and pretty much completely buried. So I would assume kind of the classic corner freeze here. Don't want to bounce. And a good freeze will certainly shrink the scoring area. Really finishing hard, but very well played. Schneider and Martin now looking at their options. The hit and roll is the obvious play here, I guess. But they run a little bit of a risk of hitting it a little too thin, maybe rolling over and moving their own shot rock, which they don't want that to disturb that one. Or a nose hit could leave a thin double. The Polo Peterson red rock is totally buried, so they can't really run it. They'd have to do the double run. The line looks pretty good on this, just needs to finish a bit. Looks perfect. Great roll. But just left enough, possibly. I think Polo can see half the rock. Looking for the slash double here. This looks easier than the double run. Basically hit what he can see. Really tight ice. I have to believe he's going to throw a little weight here. Just basically play it like a peel. Line looks really good. Just missed the top red rock and was able to get both Yellowstones out. Great shot from Joe Polo. Of course, he did leave the lost his shooter. Yellow is sitting second. With the movement on this ice, I have to believe it's possible to tap it out and stick for two. But we'll see if they want to take the risk. Kind of a risk-reward calculation. Either draw for one and get on the scoreboard, or take a chance on getting a deuce. Again, a little difficult to tell what they're attempting when there isn't a skip in the house giving us signals. He doesn't seem to be sliding too wide. My guess is they're playing the tap. Weight's got to be perfect. Line's got to be perfect. Skinny the guard. Line's really close. Now he's going to try to get it to curl and finish. Just a little heavy. I think just a little too much weight to catch the finish. And so a steal of one for Martin and Schneider in the first end of the final game here.
Yeah, steal of one for Peterson.
Or Peterson.
Yeah.
Sorry. Just a whole lot different atmosphere with just one game going on. We're so used to having 4 or 5. Been an absolutely superb event. Quality teams, quality competition, quality ice. Joe Polo going first. You see the vast majority of teams now choosing not to have the other player in the house and being positioned to sweep the whole length of the sheet, and then the shooter can come up and end up with 2 sweepers, and that's an absolute perfect shot. Top button, fully buried. Well played. Martin Schneider team now choosing to take the out-turn path. Looking for a corner freeze. It's going to have to finish hard. Weight was close, just didn't get the finish they wanted. But it is nestled up against the red stone. So a double later in the end doesn't look possible at this point. Peterson looking to just freeze into the pocket there, I believe, if they could get it to over curl a bit, but this one's running down that 4-foot line. It is not going to get to the nose of the yellow stone. All in the weight now. Weight wasn't that far off. We've found this week that these 4-foot lines can be really, and draws in general, are very release sensitive. If you set it out a little bit or a little too much rotation, they don't seem to catch the breaking point at the same spot as if it was released with a little softer release or that sweepable weight. And that rock was a prime example of just riding that 4-foot line, took the break a little too late, even though the weight was really close. Schneider now looking for the hit and stick, I believe, but this looks way light and tight. They may have been playing a little tap here. Apparently that's what they were playing, but regardless, light and tight, they're going to get a little rub off the guard. So kind of an unforced error there. Probably the way to miss that would have been a little on the wide or heavy side. But their yellow shooter is sitting in the top of the house, which is restricting access somewhat. And certainly a rock they can use later. Peterson now looks to be attempting this double. I have to believe it's going to catch that red rock, and it's just not going to finish. Catches that top stone and rolls away.
Tom, I'm curious for your thoughts on the Martin call here. It seemed like on their last shot they were trying to draw down, just sit in the pocket between the red shot stone and the yellow. But in concept, he can see enough here to actually put a little bit of heat in the space between those two stones and possibly double out both of the reds while essentially leaving himself sitting 3. Is it still too early in the end to think about that hit? Is it better here to put up a draw shot, which it appears that they are choosing to do?
Well, sometimes shot selection is based on where you are in the end. You don't want to make a move to the scoring area too early. Rather just maybe set things up for later. And as you get later in the end, then you make your move. But I believe, making some sort of a play on their own yellow would squirt the red shot rock into the open, but I don't think they could get both red. So that's why I think they keep trying to just tap this for a bigger chunk of the button. And again, I left their shooter in really good position. I tapped it a little too far, but definitely leaves the shooter in a spot where it needs to be dealt with. Polo and Peterson, they can't just leave it there. Their shot rock is in great position with backing. They try to risk throwing takeout weight at that top yellow. It could be disaster. So I believe about all they can do is guard it up.
Yeah, it looked like Joe was even indicating a possible straight back tap to try to push the yellow stone to the back 4 against the others. not clear if they're truly attempting
And
that or
well,
not.
with this weight, you might be right, but high degree of risk with that. They may want to sweep this by
It's
now.
a bit outside right now.
Way
Needs to
outside
curl
the
up.
whole way.
Yep.
And not totally disastrous, but red is still sitting shot rock. But their shooter didn't get to nose, so that spilled off. And like you were talking earlier, Chris, this might be the time to take some sort of run at it, but the two red rocks are really flat. I don't believe there's any kind of raised double, and they can't really use the shooter to go onto the other red rock. So they're choosing not to promote their yellow stone in the top of the forefoot, probably because it's just in such a great position for their last rock. So they're obviously looking to play the in-turn tap. Yep, in-turn tap. Try and get as close to nose as possible. My guess is it's about half to 2/3 open. So this will be a very precise shot. Another one where I don't think they want to get wide and heavy. They can just get it out of the forefoot. But he is wide and heavy. Shooter rolls to the tee line. Got rid of some of the backing, which may help them with their last shot. Interesting end. A lot of different options that need to be analyzed and calculated. So red is shot. Yellow second for sure.
Yeah, yellow appears to be second and fourth here.
Second and fourth. So I don't know if they considered just the in-turn draw, but that would leave a little run. So I think Joe pretty much the whole time was looking at some sort of hit and roll off this yellow rock on the side 4. A bit tricky. I don't think he wants to. He might be trying to move his shot rock sideways and get 2 yellow stones out, but it's a bit risky if he hits it over the top. But an absolute perfect roll. What a great shot. It couldn't have rolled to a better spot. If he had left it, 6 inches, 8 inches to the right, there would have been a raised double. That's truly amazing to do. No sweepers throw that precise of a hit and roll. What an amazing shot. This might be a concede 1. I don't think we can say enough about that shot. If it hadn't rolled, there could have been a double or a triple wheel for 3. If it rolled a little to the left, there was the run double, but it rolled right to the button, perfectly lined up with their other red rock. So I believe Martin's just trying to tap the top yellow and lose one of the red ones. Need to get a chunk of that. They can't hit it too thin. It won't spread, send that, just enough. Covered just enough, and that was the plan, to concede one. So Polo and Peterson steal another one, and then two, to go up 2-0 in the final of the Pacific Northwest Mixed Doubles Invitational final game. So a big game for both teams here. I think for Schneider and Martin, I believe they would get some, not only a nice chunk of cash, but some valuable points in the Canadian mixed doubles qualifying. I don't believe the U.S. mixed doubles system is awarding any points for this. And I have to believe Polo and Peterson will be invited or selected to any mixed doubles trials as defending U.S. champion and world bronze medalist. Do we have a prize money breakdown, Chris?
I don't have it right here, but we'll try to get that information for you during this game.
A sense of what they're playing for? So Polo's first rock, little out-turn tap. Martin playing the out-turn as well. The perfect shot would be to overbury this a hair, get just past the nose of the yellow rock, and either tap it or sit right on the button, corner frozen. Line looks to be really good. Great shot, about as good as they could do it, I believe. So a really nice payout for this Bonspiel, 5,000 US to the first place, which I believe is what, 50,000 Canadian, and 3,000 to second, so a $2,000 game. Peterson now trying to get around, but just rubs the guard. Didn't move the center guard very much, so they still have their center guard without the hammer. It's a valuable tool. And the shooter rolled to a position that certainly took away access to the button on the intern side, but just enough of a hole that Schneider's going to try and get through it. May be able to play a tap to lay three. We'll see what kind of weight he throws. Most likely just trying to nestle in there. But again, another rock that's riding that 4-foot line. It's going to catch that red stone and roll all the way across. That kind of weight, it appeared he was trying to tap. So a good break for Peterson now with the opportunity to get in on this intern side. Without the hammer, I think they'd be happy to just position something just above the tee line. And that rock rode the 4-foot line for quite a while. Starting to take the break now. Don't want to bump and roll into the open, but they did. I believe that red shooter is just open. I think Schneider can see all of it. They also have, I guess they might have been looking at the possibility of the double. If they were to play that and hit it a little high, they could jam it onto their yellow shot rock. That appears to be what they're playing. And with the hammer, they could lay 4. So to me, it looks like a control weight nose double, but I think he got that one started. And it's curling hard out of hand. Now, oh, great job sweeping, straighten that thing right out. Now they were just playing the hit and roll. Jammed on their yellow one in the back, but rolled to a pretty good spot, about half buried, to lay 2. I believe Peterson can see half the yellow stone in the top 4. Looks like they decided to take a little run at it and get rid of 1 yellow. I believe they would hope to keep their shooter as close to the center line as possible, so playing it relatively soft. That one straightened out a bit too, but accomplished what they were trying to do, and yeah, just couldn't hold the shooter. Got rid of 1 yellow. Yellow still shot. It's just got a corner tucked under the guard, but it's sitting in good position on top of the red rock. Obvious jam. It would have been nice for Polo Peterson to keep that shooter in the 8-foot, because it looks to me now like yellow is 3rd shot. So they'll obviously be playing the yellow onto red tap. A lot of ice. They may be just playing it for a tap freeze. But yeah, that really looked like a lot of ice to me. And it rode the 4-foot for a long time. He threw about back line weight, back 12 weight, and just never took the breaking point. Look, I guess, just too much ice. So kind of an unforced error and a missed opportunity there. That would have been a really good chance to set up I would think, a shot for 2 or 3. But now Polo, I don't know if he can get to the inside of that yellow stone. They're almost edge to edge. But if he can just get as close to the nose as possible, maybe get a tap or even a freeze would make it a really tough deuce. Another one that's just really riding that 4-foot line. I think the last thing he wants is to be heavy here. Does not want to spill into the open. Now it's catching the finish here. Almost gets to nose, taps it back. Yellow still shot, but significantly limited the options for yellow to get a deuce here. if he could see it all, he could run it onto his own yellow, lose both red, and score 3. Well,
I think
he needs to hit it a little high anyway.
Right.
So
from the right-hand hack, I think he can see all of that, or certainly 90%. But it looks like they're
yeah.
considering another option now.
They do have the angle raise on their yellow on our right side of the top 12. From here it looks he could go red onto yellow and get that yellow at least out of the 8-foot, but I'm not sure what would happen to the shooter, and it might only be for 1 anyway, especially if he hit it too high. The angle raise, it would just be, I believe they're just playing a tap for 2 that way. Looks like the higher percentage play. If the guard wasn't there, I believe there would be a shot for 3, but the guard is just covering enough of that top red stone that they don't feel it's worth the risk. And they'll just be playing an angle tap for 2. They need to get a little bit better than full 4. Looked to me like she set it out a bit. Got a long way to curl, but it's starting to finish now. Sweep it to curl, really close. Angle is really close. And got it just enough. Weight was perfect so that it finished pretty well at the end. Almost too high, almost too steep, but just enough to roll into the 4-foot for 2 to tie the game at 2-2 after 3. Yeah, one of the loneliest things I've encountered in my curling career is announcing a game by myself, so I'm really happy that we have a special guest. Jamie Sinclair has joined us in the booth. Hi, Jamie.
Hello.
So you chose to watch curling rather than go out and enjoy our beautiful weather?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a really nice day today. The sun is out, so I'm enjoying Seattle. But yeah, no, here at the curling club now, watching the finals. It's been a great game so far.
So far, a great game. A lot of great shots, a lot of interesting scenarios, multiple options.
For sure, yeah.
And that's what makes it great for a curling fan. A little short with the first draw, but in a good spot. So what do you think of the event this weekend, Jamie?
It's honestly, it's been a great event. I've never been to Seattle before, so I was excited coming into it. But yeah, no, it's been great. The ice is fantastic. It's really well run, really well organized, and everything. So yeah, I got no complaints.
Great.
And we managed to do decently well, so happy with that too.
Only complaint was another win, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. But it was a good battle. It was a good game. So
that was an amazing battle. I
Yeah.
watched that game and. I just couldn't believe the shot making, especially with the sixth end.
Yeah.
Corey made a double. They answered with like a perfect freeze. Then Corey made the slash, and they answered with the hit and roll. And you had certainly some options to get a big end there that would have put you in great position in the 7th. But this team here, Martin and Schneider, made some great shots.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was one of the most fun games I've ever played. Just a great team to play against.
Yeah, I was watching. I noticed a lot of laughter, a lot of smiles. You don't see that often in this game.
Yeah.
Did you know them before this weekend, or?
No, just they were in our pool, so we played them our first game, and yeah, we just hung out most of the weekend, and just really nice.
Well, I think anyone who curls would say that's one of the best aspects of this game is the people you meet, the friendships you make.
Of course, yeah.
All over the world, for a lot of us, it's just by far the best part of the game, I think.
I agree.
Winning isn't bad, though, too.
Yeah, especially mixed doubles. I mean, there's only 2 people on team, so it's nice when you can chat and hang out with your competition.
Admittedly, I have not played any mixed doubles. I mean, I have to believe it's a little bit different team dynamics when you're traveling instead of a group of 4 with probably a coach, and then it's just the 2 of you, and quite not very often with a coach. And it's kind of a whole different dynamic, I would think.
It's completely different. Just having one other person, so you have to make sure that you can get along.
Yeah, getting along and team chemistry is a big part of team curling, and I imagine it's the same with mixed doubles. You have to get along on the ice as well as off the ice. So Schneider now with a bomb. Great shot. He had to hit that exactly where he hit it. Raised, run back double.
Yeah, really good.
That turns the end around. The best part is they've got yellow stones on each side of the center guard controlling access to the button, and shot rock sitting on the button. So Peterson's going to have to try to get some sort of inside roll here, jiggle things around, and
I think they called for a nose hit double here.
the nose hit double. Well, they're not sweeping it very hard. Maybe a missed line call. The double would have been good too. Jamie is the skip of one of the U.S. high-performance women's teams, having a good season so far, right?
Yeah, so far so good. It's our first season together, so just been playing in a lot of events, trying to figure out how everybody on the team works, what our team systems are, and all that. So we've done pretty well so far, so hopefully going to keep that going into the next couple of events.
Schneider trying to put up a guard, and I think it curled just enough.
Jamie, one of the interesting elements of the high performance program, of course, is that often teammates are drawn from different clubs or even different states. Do you find that that's a difficulty for you? Are all of your teammates close enough that you can actually practice together, or do you have to plan weekends? How does that work for your team?
Yeah, well, we're kind of from all over the place. Vicky, my second, she's from Alaska, and then Monica is originally from Boston, and Alex is from St. Paul. But the cool thing about our team is that this year all of us actually moved to St. Paul. So now there's all 5 of us. Our 5th player as well lives in the Twin Cities. So all 5 of us are within a couple miles of each other. So we can practice together and train together and do some team bonding things as well to try to get the team chemistry and all that going. So we're really fortunate to have that. We practice together most days that we're in town, and we play in league night on Tuesday just to try to get some extra games. So it's we spend a lot of time together, but it's really good.
Peterson there was, I think, playing the run back. Obviously, the main objective was to peel the center guard, but thought maybe they could catch their red rock on the way by and do some damage. But got the straight peel. Yeah, it's good to hear, Jamie. It's always been one of my concerns with the high-performance program is when you're scattered all over the country, you don't get those opportunities to practice together, team build. But it sounds like your team has made the commitment to live close to each other. Do you play league play together?
We do, yeah. On Tuesday nights we play in the league, so we're just trying to get extra games and figure out how to work together as a team.
Yeah, obviously high-performance athletes are dedicated and committed, but just having that opportunity to play maybe one league game and maybe one solid practice a week.
Yeah, it makes a big difference for sure.
I would think.
Yeah. I mean, the Olympic trials, they're fast approaching, so trying to do everything that we can, kind of have no regrets leading up to that, and try to get into the trials, try to win them. So really, it's it's really fun actually to be part of a team that's just so committed and so enthusiastic about everything. So.
Yeah, I'm sure from your standpoint the trials are going to come really fast, but there's also that added pressure or responsibility that we need to qualify to get there.
Right.
I think the U.S. is sitting in pretty good position both in the men's and women's, but our representatives this year are going to have to, I guess ideally the goal would be top 6 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously we all want to medal or win it all, but
Yeah, no, still some work to be done for sure. But
right. So hit and roll off the top red and leaving Polo at pretty much a nose double here. Going to be hard to get a deuce, but you'd be happy with the nose double and certainly
good shot.
minimize any kind of steal possible. Oh, that was for 1. That was the last shot. Great shot for 1. So 3-2 lead after 4 for Polo and Peterson. So one thing I've been curious about is it's really exciting that mixed doubles is an Olympic discipline now, and I have to believe it's a tremendous challenge for our program to get our top athletes into mixed doubles when they already have a very busy schedule
Well,
with
yeah.
their men's and women's teams. How do you plan to
Yeah.
play both? I mean, is that quite a challenge?
It is, yeah, just mostly because we don't have that many free weekends. So trying to find time to fit in events like this and fit in the challenge round and the nationals and all that. But, I mean, different teams are taking it to different levels. Like some teams are committing more time and playing in more events. So it kind of just depends how much you're willing to do, how flexible you are with days off work and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of up to the teams as far as how much they're doing, but it's definitely a challenge.
A nice shot from Joe, a little freeze, small tap. And I have to believe the lack of mixed doubles events doesn't help. Is there, I haven't looked at the schedule really, is there
Yeah.
another mixed doubles event that, like Bonspiel, that you'll be playing in before playdowns, or?
Not my team. We don't really, we were having trouble finding the time for it. But I think they have a mixed doubles event in Blaine at the Four Seasons Curling Club in a month or so.
Oh, okay.
And then there's quite a few in Canada that a couple of the teams went up for, I think in Manitoba.
There was one earlier, but a couple
Mhm.
more. I would assume there'd be
Yeah,
some in
Portage.
Canada, but even up there, I have to believe it's not like there's one every weekend.
No, definitely not, yeah. But it is growing. There are, you start to see some popping up throughout the season. I think people are just, it's slowly people are getting more into it and more teams are playing because it's getting closer to the Olympics and just having it as a discipline now. Everybody's wanting to compete to have an extra shot at maybe going to the Olympics.
So Martin's first shot was kind of the dreaded bounce and roll into the open. Peterson had an opportunity to stick one in their top 4, but got a little deep as well, leaving Schneider with an opportunity to lock one on to the 2 red rocks in the back of the 4-foot. And that looks to be perfect. Dead frozen on the red stone and sitting just back button. The pin is available here with a perfect shot. Sure, Peterson would like to just glue this onto the nose of the yellow rock and cover the pin. Looks to be light, however. So which curling club do you play out of in the Twin Cities area?
We play our league at the St. Paul Curling Club, but all of our training is at Four Seasons Curling Club. It's the National Training Center, and I think just last year it got named the Olympic training site as well. So spending most of my time up there. It's only about 25 minutes north of where I'm living. So not too
Back
bad
and
of a
forth
commute.
between Blaine and St. Paul.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's truly amazing. I mean, I was born and raised in northern Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
We always had quite a few clubs, mainly in the north.
Mm-hmm.
But the growth in the Twin Cities is unbelievable.
I know. I feel like they're just building curling clubs everywhere. It's great. It's exciting to just see people getting interested in the sport. And I don't know. I just growing the sport is huge. I'm all for it. So I'm happy to be a part of it in any way that I can. Really.
Yeah, it's a really exciting time. So the draw that came up light from Peterson left Schneider the opportunity to draw another one in there, which they did quite perfectly. Sitting two, one on top, one on back of the button. The rock that was just thrown is mostly buried. So I don't see a lot of good angles here for Peterson. Without the hammer, they may be just looking to sit one on top of the rock that was just thrown. Something they could maybe use later on, or at the very least shrink the scoring area. But a little heavy and bounced all the way out of the forefoot. So really didn't help their position at all. So Schneider now looking to get a third rock in there, I would think. If the line is good, he could get one fully buried top four to lay three. But this one's hanging a bit, taking its time to curl. Now he's sweeping to get it to curl. If the weight is there, and it absolutely just perfectly comes to rest in the top four. They might have liked a little more curl. I think it's about half exposed, maybe 2/3 exposed.
Does appear to be 3 yellow on our monitors.
Like it just got in for third shot. Probably not too critical that he got third shot, because Polo's going to have to play something here to change the dynamics of that crowded forefoot. Well, I don't see much room for these rocks, the yellow rocks, to go anywhere. Do you, Jamie?
I don't know. This is a high, hard one. So
Hit. Oh, he's playing a cross face.
wow.
Oh my gosh.
It does appear that red is shot.
What a shot. Do we have replay?
Well, for those of you watching at home, the entire webcast is recorded, so you can go back at any time to the curlingchampionstour.org website and see these games and replay that shot over and over.
So how would we describe that shot? And in off. So
In off from their own stone.
their own stone.
Sort of a
and
half
then
angle
kind of a
almost.
wheel, sort of wheel,
Sort of a wheel, yeah.
to the button, which looks like it is probably shot by maybe an inch.
Right. So when you bring those two together, is it an in
Yeah.
wheel, an
It
off
is
wheel?
an
What do you
off
call
wheel.
that?
A
We
mini
need a
wheel.
new name for that.
Mini wheel.
A mini wheel? Yeah, there you go. It's like a mini me, but only a little different.
So what's left here, Jamie?
they seem to be talking about tap raise or slash raise yellow on the left against the red stone that is shot. If they could kick it back, rub the other red, they might get to 3 here.
I see. They've got angles on both sides. They can see, yeah, this angle looks a little better, but it's curling hard. It looks like an angle raise for possibly 3. And nails
really
it.
good.
Nails
two
it.
great back-to-back shots.
Yeah, I think they could have run the rocks on either side in there, but this angle was set up a little better.
What a battle. This is a great game. Both
Great
teams
game.
Playing really well.
She has made some unbelievable clutch shots this weekend, just in the games that I've seen.
Yeah, I don't think she missed when when she played against us.
So
Was
Jamie,
fun.
I think you said this is your first time in Seattle.
It is.
But it looks like you'll have another opportunity later this year, unless I'm mistaken. Happy to announce that you can now purchase tickets for the 2017 USA Curling National Championships, hosted by the Granite Curling Club here in Everett, Washington, February 11th through the 18th. Prices $10 to $75 per day, and the ticket is good for all day, meaning multiple draws. Playoffs and all event discounts are available. You can get more information from usacurlingnationals2017.com. So go there and pick up your tickets. Although I think, Jamie, you probably don't need any unless you're bringing family members with you.
So an absolutely great angle raise takeout. Gives the Martin Schneider team a huge 3 points in the 5th end to go up 5-3 after 5, and forcing pretty much Polo and Peterson to use their power play here in the 6th end. Playing the split, the little tick split, looks really good. What a great shot.
Yeah, this seems to have become a sort of a favorite for the Martin team when facing the power play. I think they've ticked 3 or 4 this weekend and made every one of them successfully that I saw.
Yeah, it's certainly become an interesting part of the game. I think most people agree it was a great addition, the power play, and it presents several different options on how to defend against it. Have you and Corey used like one strategy to defend against the power play, or does it depend?
Yeah, depends a little bit on the score, in our opinion. But this is our first time. This was our first event together, so we were kind of trying different ones. Sometimes we would draw top 4. Sometimes we'd play the tick. Just trying to figure out what worked best for us. But the tick is a great shot. Get rid of that corner guard. Get another one of your rocks into the rings.
I believe Schneider was just playing the freeze here. Threw it really heavy. After the great tick, Polo put up a corner guard on top of the yellow rock in the back 4. And now they got a huge break with the miss there, and an opportunity to draw around that corner guard and freeze on the yellow rock behind the tee line. Yeah, just in my observation, there's basically 4 ways to defend against the power play, and to me, it's a factor of the scoreboard. Like even team curling, a lot of what you decide depends on the score. And I like the tick if you're in control and up, because it could backfire on you. But I've seen the tick, I've seen the freeze tap on the rock in the house, I've seen top 4, I've seen center guard, and I think those are typically the 4 ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, just in my estimation, it was. I thought if the team was in control and ahead on the scoreboard, the tick is the way to play it. If they're behind, or especially that situation where you're 1 up without the hammer in the 8th end and the other team has the power play, then I think it's a center guard and go to steal.
Yeah, exactly.
Or to maybe make force 1 more likely.
Bring the play back to the 4-foot area.
Exactly. So a nice peel over Polo. Peterson laying 2 and the opportunity to either draw to lay 3 or protect one of those counters, which I believe they'll do. Put the corner guard back up. Back to us, the Seattle area hosting the Nationals. Actually, Everett, Washington. It's just a heavy draw north of here, about 20-minute drive. Can you explain a little bit, Jamie, on how the qualification works for, particularly, I assume it's the same for the men and women, but for the women's program?
Yeah. There'll be a couple teams that get in based on points, the world ranking, on how they're doing in the season, and then there's also a challenge round prior to nationals, and I think, I'm not sure how many teams come out of that, but some of those teams will move on to the nationals.
I believe the field's been reduced to 8 teams this year?
It's what it was last year.
Or last year was first year, correct?
Yeah. But the men's side, I believe, was still 10.
Was still 10. So is your team guaranteed a spot at this point, or?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I haven't haven't really been keeping track of that too much.
We have Derek Brown here in the house, but he's lost his voice due to a cold, or maybe just doesn't want to be on the microphone. But in any case, he's signaling us to help us understand how the selection process is working.
Saying 4 or 5 teams get in on order of merit.
Catch up on the action here. I don't know if that last corner guard picked or not, but it's surely over curled and was basically of no use. Schneider and Martin looked at briefly the crosshouse double, which was really flat, and then chose to just pick the red rock out, and did so successfully. Now, I'm personally really excited about the Nationals in Everett. I've been in that building a number of times. It's the home to a junior hockey team, which I've been an avid fan of. Nice size arena, seats about 8,000. I think it's about maybe 15 years old, 14 or 15 years old, so not really new, but not old. Just and Everett is a nice size community, about the size of Duluth, I believe, 100,000, with a nice little main street, and so kind of out of the hustle and bustle of the city.
Well, 8,000 seats. Better get your tickets before that sells out.
Get them now.
Yeah.
So that freeze tap a little deep. The crosshouse double looks like it would jam, so they may be just playing a hit and roll on top. So it sounds like you haven't paid too much attention to the points, but that's probably a good thing. Just focus on the task
I try
each
not
weekend.
to. Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure you're in the lead.
Just barely, by the skin of my teeth.
Oh, okay.
For now, anyway. The other teams are playing in the Slam next weekend, so.
And you're not?
No, we didn't qualify for it. So
okay. Oh.
They'll get some points there. But
that's the thing, you just can't relax, and every weekend is important. So the hit and roll attempt does roll, but not far. Is it far enough for shot?
Does appear to be shot based on the overhead monitor, but it's awfully close.
If there's any doubt, I'm sure Polo will be hitting it, but I think he'd probably rather just throw the draw. It looks close enough that they'll just play the hit for 2. We'll be playing the intern. Not a lot of ice, so looks like probably a normal weight hit, probably like 9.5 seconds. Doesn't want to set it here. I know this ice well enough that that's not a spot where you want to get outside. But he's got pretty much the whole 12 foot, and it comes up to nose very nicely. Hit and stick for 2 to tie the game. 5-5 after 6 ends. What a great game. Back and forth. A lot of great shot making. That end not as messy as other ones, but simply because Martin made the tick to start.
Yeah, exactly. Open it right up.
And then a missed corner guard, too, or they might have gotten a stack of rocks behind that, but again, that rock must have picked, I would believe. So where's your partner? Is he sleeping in?
No, I think I think a bunch of the players went for a hike today.
Oh, he went with them?
Yeah.
Super. A lot of great hiking in this area.
Yeah, I saw some of the pictures, and it just looks absolutely beautiful.
I was drawn here. Well, I moved here in 1990, been here about 25 years, and I'm just fascinated and just love the beauty of the area. You got mountains, Mount Rainier to the south, Mount Baker to the north, the Cascades to the east, the Olympics to the west, ocean. The Pacific coast is 4-hour drive, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
So lots to offer. Close to Canada, which is your home, correct?
Yeah, that's where I grew up.
Whereabouts?
In just outside of Ottawa, Ontario. That's where my parents still live. Go back and visit every now and again.
And you've been how long living in the States?
I moved last summer. So
I'm
just
sure
over a
some
year.
people are curious how you're able to get U.S. citizenship then?
Yeah, well, my parents were both in the military, so my dad got posted to Alaska, actually. So he was there for just over 2 years, and that's where I was born. So
Oh, you were born in Alaska?
Yeah, got citizenship that way.
Okay.
But my
So
family's
born in
Canadian.
Alaska, but raised in Ontario?
Yeah.
And you said you're...
My family's Canadian, so I'm the only one
Okay.
that has American citizenship.
So are you worried about being deported? Just kidding. So I haven't seen the freeze tap option against the power play too often. That's what Polo did, and that's the thing is,
It's risky.
it's so precise. Even this one bounced a bit into the open. If you're the team without the hammer and you play that, there's only this small area where you can be shot rock and frozen, and a very difficult shot. Especially with the score tied. I think they're obviously Polo Peterson would love to force one here. So Peterson looks like we're going to play around that guard again.
Attempting the freeze again. A little tap is good.
She could probably see enough of that yellow rock to make a double takeout, but they can't throw takeouts yet. This rock needs to finish. Even if they bounce both of them into the open, which he almost did, something they can maybe get at later. But it bounced enough that Schneider can now hit and roll back behind the corner. This needs to curl a bit. Now he's on it. Looks really close. Rocks tend to come hard off that center line, and it's over curling just a bit and hit and roll all the way out the other side of the corner guard. But 3 in the house, 3 yellow in the house, but only laying 2, I believe.
Yeah, it appears to be first and second yellow from the overhead.
And I think we're going to have a little crowd of rocks behind this corner guard. Peterson's going to try and draw around again. I don't believe she would be trying to get shot rock here because it would have to be just like corner frozen. Might be trying to just bury it around that corner guard for second shot, or even tap and roll. Yeah, she was playing tap weight for sure, hack weight at least. They were trying to get rid of that Yellowstone and maybe get a little more roll, but she didn't clear the guard by much. That's probably about as good as they could have done. So I got a quick look at your bio when I was announcing one of the other games. Played in several Canadian Junior National Championships, Jamie?
Yeah, fortunate enough to have won the Ontario Provincials twice, so I went to 2 Canadian Nationals. Unfortunately, didn't win any of them, but I got a bronze medal at my last one, which
That's awesome.
we're pretty happy with, yeah. And then University Nationals as well in 2014, and got the gold at that one. So
Oh,
it was nice to-
congratulations. That's
Thank
great.
you.
So the outturn, hit and roll. Shooter rolls all the way out of the house.
Looks like yellow is first and third right now.
Yeah, they punched that one yellow even further. I think they would have really liked to keep the shooter there. That was probably the most important part of that last shot. But just caught it a
Yeah,
little wide and
definitely.
heavy, and the shooter's out. So even though Peterson can see almost all of that yellow shot rock, well, it's shot. As you can see almost all of it. The angles are set to jam. I believe she could get close to nose, maybe lose her red one, but hopefully you lose the yellow as well, but catch it a hair high, and it could be a dead jam. I think that's the worst scenario here, but she's throwing really soft weight, and this rock is throwing really hard. All the way for a line, just gets by the guard. Jams yellow onto yellow, but a little fortunate. I think the 2 rocks in the 12-foot there, red is closer, I believe.
Yes. Yeah.
So they got
red
a
is
l-
1 and 2 for sure.
A little unfortunate on that bounce, or worked out for Peterson Polo, but the shooter did overcurl, roll into the open, and leaving a wide open hit here. They've got the choice of rolling under or rolling open. Rolling open would make the deuce almost automatic. Rolling under might bring 3 into play, but a little bit riskier. Looks to me they were definitely playing this to roll open. End up with basically a nose hit. They would have liked to have rolled somewhere there, don't you think, Jamie?
Yeah, I think they kind of just got caught in between the 2 calls. I mean, the roll under would have been great, but if it wasn't curling, then sweep it to catch it high side and maybe take out that back red and roll open.
because now Polo's got virtually the same shot. Saw the line and can roll under to with a perfect shot. I think take the deuce away completely. Line looks to be pretty good.
Just took off.
Made a big jump though. They waited and waited, made a big jump. He's going to catch about a third of the rock and roll out. Looked to be thrown well, just maybe a little late on the sweep.
So she just needs to move the red one back a couple inches here.
So a tricky little shot from the left side of the hack. I don't think she can see much, but it's all the way in the back 12 foot, so just a little heavy draw tap. Very makeable with the way the ice is moving, especially coming off a center. They've seen this line the whole end. There shouldn't be too many surprises here, but certainly the weight's got to be right, the line's got to be right. Just need to tap it maybe a couple inches. Taking ice, just inside the center line. Looks to be a lot of weight, plenty of weight. Now it's just got to finish. Not sweeping, probably going to switch to sweep it to curl. Got the rock, and the shooter just hangs on.
Good shot.
Another great shot for the deuce to go up 7-5 after 7 in this amazing seesaw battle. That's a big deuce. Polo Peterson have used their power play. They'll need a deuce to tie. A couple of steals to start the game, but then a hammer game ever since. Team with the hammer has scored in every end since the second. So Polo and Peterson going to have to find a way to generate a deuce without the power play. And when to use that power play certainly adds a dynamic to this game.
Yeah, you only get one of them, so sometimes you want to try to save it for you really need it in the last end, but then again, it's if you're struggling to score multiples, it's nice to use it and kind of change the momentum and get back in the fight.
Yeah, it's a use it or lose it situation. So then when you get down to 6th, 7th, 8th end, it really becomes a part of the strategy. So Martin came up a little light on the come around, but in a control position. Polo now trying to get one in there buried, but that one hung on the 4-foot line for a long time, and it's going to come to rest in the top 8 foot. Just wide open. Line looks to be good. Now it really grabbed hard. It hung, that may have picked. It was hanging on that 4-foot line, made a big move, and clipped the center guard, rolled the shooter out, and they're not too happy about that. Although that center guard was covering the red rock in the back of the forefoot, it's still, for the team without the hammer, kind of a tool or a weapon that they can use later in the end. And so with that gone, Schneider and Martin are without that center guard tool. We'll see how they play the rest of the end. And then it becomes, where to put that third rock.
Yeah, try to avoid setting up a double or a triple if you can.
What do you think here? There's certainly a makeable double on the red rocks there.
Yeah.
But you certainly don't want to bunch things up too much.
No, looks like they're playing around their corner guard.
Yeah, that yellow rock that used to be the center guard got ticked over to what is essentially now a corner guard. And don't want to be heavy. Anything in the rings would be great. This is going to be close. Even a biter is huge. And it just stops for a biter. I believe we're in a tough angle, but Joe raises his broom. I believe it's a biter. So the obvious call here is the double takeout. I believe it has to be hit really close to nose, so I don't think you can roll anywhere. Drawing firm weight. This looks like peel. Hard to sweep. Rock thrown that hard. Just over curled a bit. Missed the rock in the back. But did get a hair of an inside roll, so making it a little trickier to deal with. I don't think they have any choice but to hit and roll on that, correct?
Yeah, definitely have to make a play on it. A little bit tricky. Don't want to, of course you don't want to jam it on the back.
They have two potential jam rocks. Not only the rock in the back four, but the biter could jam on that as well. So a very delicate shot. Basically punch it through that hole and ideally keep the shooter all spread out. Playing what looks like control weight. Line looks to be perfect. Right through the hole and rolls to the side 12. What a great shot. Huge shot. So now this is the point in the end where Martin and Schneider, they had rubbed on their own center guard earlier in the end, and I bet they would give anything to have that back right now, simply because it would give them another option. This is the point where do we cut our losses and try to hold them to 2 here with some, cross-house hit and roll or double, where if they had that center guard, they could have chose to just, freeze on the rock in the back of the forefoot and make it a tough deuce that way. They'd at least have another option. There is a rock in the top 12 there that they could draw around, but it's pretty, obviously Polo could run it back. They're choosing to hit and roll or double. We'll see. Throwing a lot of weight. Line looks to be close. He's going to get the double and roll all the way out. Huge double. He would have liked to have stuck somewhere, I guess, but I think he'll take the double at this point.
Definitely, yeah.
Kind of a scary shot playing that cross face, knowing you need to roll somewhere ideally, and you're looking at 3 rocks. So. That could very well have been a game saver. So now where do you draw?
I think they got to make a play on that top one.
Yeah, they're going to have to make the play, yeah, sooner or later. I guess they have to play it now to bring that biter into play.
Just try to roll onto the rings.
This looks to be riding the center line, or the 4-foot line, and I don't think that shooter's going to stick if it even makes contact. Oh, and don't take out your biter. Oh my gosh. An absolutely unfortunate break there. Caught it a little high, rolled, took their own biter out in the back, which was their savior, and no chance to get 2 to tie. So that's the game. Very well played. I thought it would come down to the last shot, but Martin and Schneider eke out the victory. It'll be X's, so I guess officially a 7-5 win, and claim the championship.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us, Jamie. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Kept me from being lonely. That was a great game.
Good battle.
Best of luck to you, and
thank you very much
in both women's and mixed doubles. Yeah, again, good luck the rest of the season, and hopefully we'll see you in Everett.
For sure. Have a good one.
Thanks. Take care.
Well, thank you to everyone who's been watching the webcast from home or elsewhere. Our pleasure to bring it to you. As you just saw, Team Martin and Schneider are the big winners of this event, and that includes a first-place prize of $5,000 U.S. So they'll be going home happy, I'm sure. I want to remind everyone that Granite Curling Club in Seattle, Washington is the host of the 2017 U.S. Curling National Championships coming up February 11th through the 18th of 2017 at the Xfinity Arena in Everett, Washington. There are tickets available that are good all day, so multiple draws from $10 to $75 per day. There are also playoff and all-event discounts available. You can get your tickets from usacurlingnationals2017.com, so please go there for more information. I want to thank Tom Violette, who has been our announcer for this draw and many earlier draws, as well as our other announcers, Doug Kaufman, Bill Rugen, Lisa Rugen, Matt Guy. Who am I forgetting, Tom? Anybody else?
I believe that was maybe Liam, I think.
Oh, that's right. Liam
sat
did
in
one.
the game.
Yep. As well as some guests from various teams, even Team Cottrell, who had been eliminated from this event, came and sat in for a game and hosted for us, so that was very pleasant. Again, thank you for watching from home. As I mentioned previously during this broadcast, all of the games from this event are archived on the YouTube channel for the curlingchampionstour.org. You can go to that website, click on the live link, that will take you to their YouTube page where you can find all of these games and rewatch all of the great shots that we've been privileged to see here in person. On behalf of everyone that's been involved, we hope that you've enjoyed this webcast of the 2016 Pacific Northwest Mixed Doubles Invitational, and thank you from Seattle.